All right, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm shooting this on my GoPro. I'm sitting inside of my Honda Accord. A little different video today. So if you're looking for FPV content, there is none on this video. Let me just want to preface that for everybody. There's no FPV content today. This is strictly an issue I ran into. And I'm going to call this a hack or a workaround for the clock issue that apparently affects older Honda Accords, or actually Honda models or Acuras, from what I'm reading, 2006 model to 2014 are the only ones affected, specifically with the navigation system. So if you don't have the navigation system, this won't affect you, or it shouldn't affect you. And when you power up the car, you'll get obviously the navigation system set up. And so again, this is a 2008 Honda Accord specifically. Yours may vary depending on the model, whatnot. You might not be running all the same software, firmware, and maybe even your screen looks slightly different. So getting into this, the issue is that your clock is no longer working. So as you can see, my clock is currently saying 9:46, and in reality, it's actually like 4:30 in the afternoon. So if I go into my clock settings, normally you could go to your menu setup here and hit OK. See if I can go through this relatively quickly. And go to, actually, nope, sorry. Go to my setup. I go into my setup, and at the top there, scroll over, you go to other, clock adjustment. This is normally where you would normally do it for your clock settings. And again, I guess what I'm referring to, see on my clock, on my dashboard, I've got a little clock there. It doesn't say AM or PM, there's no calendar or nothing, but it's frustrating because I look at that all the time when I'm driving. Your dashboard layout may be slightly different. So just consider the model of the car you're driving. So anyway, back to this. If I go into my clock settings, right? The problem is I should be able to come in here, go to time and adjustment, and change the clock as I scroll this wheel, right? You can see if I put it for 4 o'clock, date and time, and then it should just press to set it, jumps back immediately to the default 12. Doesn't matter how many times you do that, it goes back. Okay, so there's a couple different videos I've seen out there, and this is again a hack, a workaround. To be clear, Honda is stating, and I'll put a source of this, at least one source called the Verge up on the screen if you want to look at it. Honda is saying this issue will not be fixed, a real fix, until August of 2022. Specifically, I think they said August 22nd, 2022. And it'll self-correct. It's a bug in the software. There's nothing you can do. Even if you have the disc, the CD, like for mine, I have a CD player down here. For the navigation system, this isn't going to fix your issue. Even if you try some of these other workarounds, these hacks I've seen a hack where if you hold cancel, menu, and map simultaneously, hold that down for like 5 or 10 seconds, you come into these diagnosis screens, like hidden menus, right? If I go into these detailed screens, there's a detailed screen in here. I can scroll down here and you can play with, GPS information, car status. There's all kinds of buttons in here. I'm going to cancel out of there. Version information. It tells you what you're running on the GPS system, but nothing in here is going to fix your problem. There's even one for monitor check. Where is it? Oh, I'm just showing you some hidden screens. There's actually GPS information in here. It's going to show you actually how many satellites you're currently talking to, your longitude, latitude, elevation, a lot of information. These are hidden screens. Nothing in here is going to fix it. Even I saw a thing in here where it has version information. There's an option that I can download right from here, an updated updated download if you're connected to the satellites. I did that. Again, none of this is going to work, so might as well just cancel back out of here. The fix, no, got to get out of this menu. The fix is again a hack. Cancel. Just got to get out of this menu. Hang on a second. The fix is actually one of two things. Either you can pull your fuse box. Let me walk around. And before I say that, if you do this hack or this fix, or you want to do it, you're going to need your GPS code and your radio code, and I'll show you why in a moment. And if you don't know where that is, in your glove compartment, or on the side of your glove compartment here, at least on mine, there's some stickers down here in the corner. All right, you should be able to find, there's two codes. There's a GPS code, a 4-digit code, and a radio code, which is a 5-digit code. Okay, so have those handy, you're gonna need them. Okay, so if we walk around, let's walk around to the front of the car. And again, that's an FPV, but no FPVs here today. I took off the cap on my fuse box. Okay, it's a little cap here. Took that off, it just pops off. And inside there's a little clip so you can pull these fuses. The fifth one in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a red one. It's a 10, looks like a 10 amp fuse. So you put this little clip on there, and my hands are a little big, so I'm trying to do this so you guys can see too. If I pull that fuse out, right, that's the fuse for the dashboard information. So if I were to try to power up the car right now, yeah, nothing. If I put the key in, nothing's going to happen, right? Leave that out for a second. And if you do this, let me just, now what you want to do is you want to do this at 1 o'clock in the morning. My car specifically will reset to 1 a.m. I'm hearing some people's cars will reset, and I'm going to put this back in. If I were to do this at 1 o'clock at any point in the day, I'll just reseat this. So pop that fuse. What you would do is pull that fuse out at like a few minutes before 1, and then right at 1 o'clock, which is when your clock's going to reset. Come on. Put this, pop that fuse back in, right? This was just for fun from FPV guys. Put that fuse back in at exactly 1 o'clock. Come back over here. Where to do my keys? Where are you? They're in the ignition. Okay. You're going to see that it's asking for a code. Okay. The first code I think is going to be my radio code. And you'll see here the clock reset to 1 o'clock. Okay. So 1 o'clock, if you do this at 1 in the morning or 1 in the afternoon, it'll sync your clock at least to the current time, right? Let me go back in here. Navigation system, when you put the key back in, navigation system starts up. Do it one more time. Again, you're gonna need both codes. So I'm just gonna walk you through the whole thing so you see everything. So I got to put my radio code in. It's a 5-digit code. Oh, maybe it needs a GPS code. Let me see. I get these mixed up. Okay, so that's the GPS code. And the other thing is you're going to get this message. Navigation system lost power, acquiring location from GPS satellites. Takes usually 10 minutes. Doesn't take that long. It says start the engine. Park the vehicle outside. And that's the other reason I did this outside. I was going to do it in the garage, but I did it outside. It needs to acquire the satellites. So as soon as it syncs up to the satellites, the navigation system will show updated again. And I just want to walk you through the whole thing so you see everything nuts to bolts. So that was the 4-digit GPS code that I entered. Again, on the side of your glove box, at least in the Honda Accord models. And again, this is supposedly for older Acuras and Honda models, 2006 to 2014. And I have heard people say that their clock sometimes resets, like mine reset to 1. Some people, and I want to mention this, said their clock reset to 4. If your clock resets to 4, obviously it's, you know, slightly different than mine, or this doesn't work. A few people in the comments of other videos said after a few days it reverted back, but then there was no details for those people that said that. So I'm unclear on the details of the people that said it didn't work for them, but this should work. Oh, the other thing you can do while that's updating is if you're not comfortable with pulling out the fuse, right? If you're not comfortable with pulling out the fuse, you could also disconnect the negative terminal, the black. Keep that off for a couple of minutes and do the same thing. Reconnect it at exactly 1 o'clock. Or if your GPS system, like I said, reverts back to 4, which I've heard a couple people say it did. Is this updating still? Still updating. It did it quicker for me before. Maybe it's just the location of my car. And you're going to need to do the same thing for the radio. So as soon as I turn my radio on, it's also asking me for a code there. So I'm going to want to put my radio code in as well. And that I can put on the dashboard here. And there's my radio code coming online. And then for my XM radio, I don't want to get flagged on this video for music, so I'm not going to turn it up. But now my radio is working, so you need both those codes. I'm surprised the GPS is honestly taking as long as it is to update. Usually it kicks right in, and it might just be the current satellite positions or position of my car as to why it's taking a few minutes. But this will update, and it's done it before. I've reset this a couple times already just because I wanted to prep for this video. So even if I turn the car off and turn it back on now, right, my radio is going to come on. I got my XM radio. The clock is going to continue to update. It should not revert back. Like I said, some people said it did. I've not had that experience. If it does not work or does revert back for a few of you, I'd love to hear the specifics in the comments because it will help others out. But this is the hack. I'm not going to call it the fix. This is the hack. Okay. And again, there is no fix. Honda, you know, honestly, I can't believe your fix is telling people just to wait until August and it's going to fix itself of 2022. That's really unacceptable. I'm a little bit OCD myself, and looking at the clock, you know, being incorrect all the time personally makes me nuts. I have a feeling that it just might be the position of my car. In order to acquire the GPS signal, I might be too close to my house or something. I'm going to move up just a little bit. But you just want a clear line of sight. No trees or buildings around to reacquire the GPS satellites, and then you should be good to go. All right, I hope that helped a few of you out. A lot of videos out there, and the other thing I wanted to mention was, there it goes. So it just updated. It did take a couple minutes. That this problem for me did not rear its head until we had daylight savings time this past weekend. March 14th, I believe it was. where my clock was then showing an hour behind or forward. I forget which one it was now. But most people experience this problem as of January 1st of 2022. So may depend on models, makes, when you see this problem. Again, I hadn't seen many videos specifically addressing. I only saw it with daylight savings. I live in New Jersey in the US, with the daylight savings recently taking place, but a lot of people started reporting this back in the beginning of the new year. And again, no fix being confirmed by the Honda dealer. If I go into setup, this is the other thing. I know some of you, sorry to ramble on, I know some of you have different LCD displays, different things show on your screens, or maybe your dashboard setup slightly different. Mine doesn't have the AM PM, so I don't care about that, and I don't display the date. There's no date on my car screens either, so that doesn't affect me either. Some of you, that may bother you, but this to me seems like at least a good hack until, you know, until, well, you can't say until Honda fixes it, until the issue corrects itself. And I'm going to put a link below to a source called The Verge. If you want to read more about the issue. Hope this helps you. Drop a like if you found the information useful. I ran into this problem, which means I know a lot of other people probably have too. Still seems like a lot of people are running into this. Have a good day, guys. See you in the next video.